Hi guys, this is O-level chemistry, paper 11, June 2017, question 1. Gas X has the following properties. It is colorless. So ammonia is colorless, chlorine is not colorless, hydrogen is colorless, oxygen is colorless. Next, no effect on either red or blue litmus paper. So ammonia turns red litmus blue, chlorine bleaches the litmus paper, hydrogen has no effect on either of the litmus papers. Oxygen has no effect on either of the litmus papers. Next, no effect on lime water. Ammonia has no effect on lime water. Chlorine has no effect on lime water. Hydrogen has no effect on lime water. And oxygen also has no effect on lime water. And finally, flammable. Ammonia is not flammable. Chlorine is not flammable. Hydrogen is flammable. And oxygen is not flammable. Therefore, which gas is X? Gas X is the one that has all four properties present. So it is hydrogen, making option C the correct option for this question. Question 2. A gas is evolved during a reaction. Which two pieces of apparatus would enable the rate of this reaction to be measured? So the first thing we would need would be a stopwatch or a stop clock, which is there in options C and D. And the other thing we would need is, because we are supposed to measure the production of gas, we would need a gas syringe, which is there in option C and not there in option D. Gas syringe is there in option B, but stop clock is not there. And option A does not have any piece of apparatus that is required for measuring the rate of reaction. Therefore, option C is the correct option for this question. Question 3. Which statement about pure hexane is correct? It boils over a range of temperatures. A pure liquid boils at a fixed temperature. An impure liquid boils over a range of temperatures. It burns in excess oxygen to form carbon monoxide and water only? No, it would be carbon dioxide and water. It mixes with water. It is a non-polar solvent, so it will not mix with water. It is insoluble in water, or it is immiscible with water. It melts at a fixed temperature. Yes, pure substances have a fixed melting point. Impure substances have variable melting point. So it melts at a fixed temperature, making option D the correct option for this question. Which statement about the particles fluoride ion, neon, and sodium ion is correct? They all contain more electrons than protons. They all contain more neutrons than protons. They all contain same number of electrons. They all contain the same number of protons. So for each of these, we need to calculate the number of electrons, protons, and neutrons present. So the proton number of fluorine is 9 and the nucleon number is 19. Proton number of neon is 10, nucleon number is 20. Proton number of sodium ion is 11 and nucleon number is 23. Now we need to find out their electrons, protons, and neutrons. So first, the number of electrons in fluorine, that would be the proton number plus 1 because it has got a charge of -1, giving an electron number of electron equals 10. For protons, it would be the proton number, which is 9. And for neutron, it would be 19 minus 9, which is 10. In neon, the number of electrons is equal to proton number, which is 10. The proton number is equal to number of protons, which is 10. And the neutron number is equal to nucleon number minus the proton number. 20 minus 10 equals 10. For Na positive ion, the number of electrons is equal to the proton number, which is 11 minus 1 because there is a charge of positive 1. So 11 minus 1 gives us a value of 10. The proton number is equal to 11. So number of protons is 11. And the nucleon number is 23. 23 minus 11 will give us 12 neutrons in Na positive ion. So now they all contain more electrons than protons. So more electrons than protons. So 10 is greater than 9 for fluoride, 10 is equal to 10 for neon, and 10 is less than 11 for sodium ion. So option A is incorrect. B, they all contain more neutrons than protons. So for fluoride, 10 is greater than 9. For neon, 10 is equal to 10. and for Na positive 12 is greater than 11. So B is also incorrect. C, they all contain the same number of electrons. So each of them have 10 electrons present. So this option is correct. And D, they all contain the same number of protons. So the number of protons in fluoride ions is 9, in neon is 10, in Na positive ion is 11, making option D incorrect as well. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option C. Question 5. An aqueous solution of zinc chloride is tested by adding reagents. Which observation is correct? Acidified aqueous barium nitrate is added, forms of white precipitate. No. Sulfate ions are not present, so this cannot happen. Aqueous ammonia forms a white precipitate soluble in excess of the reagent. Yes, this is a test for the presence of Zn2 positive ions. Aqueous sodium hydroxide forms a white precipitate insoluble in excess of the reagent. This is a positive test for calcium ions, not for Zn2 positive ions. And powdered copper is added, forms a gray precipitate. This reaction will not happen because copper is less reactive than zinc, so will not displace zinc from zinc chloride. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option B. Question 6. How many of the molecules shown contain only one covalent bond? So we have got chlorine gas, so Cl single bond Cl atoms. We've got hydrogen gas, so hydrogen single bonded to another hydrogen atom. We've got HCl, so hydrogen single bonded to a chlorine atom. Then we've got nitrogen, so we've got one nitrogen atom forming a triple bond with another nitrogen atom. And then we've got oxygen, in which one oxygen atom is forming a double bond with another oxygen atom. Therefore, 1, 2, and 3 of these covalent molecules have only a single covalent bond present in them, making option B the correct option for this question. Question 7. Which substance has a giant covalent structure and contains atoms of more than one element? Diamond. Diamond is a giant covalent structure, but it is an allotrope of carbon only. Graphite is another giant covalent structure, but again an allotrope of carbon only. Methane is a simple covalent structure made up of one carbon and four hydrogen atoms present in covalent bonds. And sand is a giant covalent structure containing SiO2, and SiO2 contains two different elements. So the correct option for this question is option D. Question 8. Which statement correctly explains why chlorine at 40 degrees Celsius diffuses more slowly than neon at 20? So chlorine, Cl2, if we calculate the MR of chlorine, that would be 35.5 into 2, which is equal to 71. This is for Cl2. And for neon, neon has a mass of 20. So the mass of chlorine is much, much higher than the mass of neon. And temperature, although chlorine is at a temperature of 40, neon even at a temperature of 20 is less than half the mass of chlorine, so it would diffuse more quickly. Okay, so option A, chlorine has a relative molecular mass of 71, while neon has a relative atomic mass of 20. Yes, chlorine is at a higher temperature than neon. This is not the reason for diffusion of chlorine to be more slower than neon. Chlorine is diatomic and neon is monoatomic. That is a fact, but has nothing to do with diffusion. Chlorine is more reactive than neon. That is also a fact, but has nothing to do with diffusion. Therefore, option A is the correct option for this question. Question 9. Metals conduct electricity. The movement of which particle is responsible for this conductivity? Electrons. Electrons are responsible for conduction of electricity. Anions no, cations no, electrons yes, protons no. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option C. Question 10. Which substance when molten conducts electricity? Bitumen. Bitumen is a higher fraction alkane. It will not conduct electricity. Cesium iodide. Cesium iodide is an ionic salt. When molten, ionic salts do conduct electricity. Diamond. Diamond is a covalent macromolecule. It will not conduct electricity at a very high temperature when it melts. Same thing with sand. Sand contains SiO2, which is a covalent macromolecule. Since it is covalent, it will not conduct electricity similar to diamond. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option B.